I'm glad you brought up achievement scores because I didn't even really understand achievement score or achievement testing and educational diagnosticians. I think they're probably called different things in different districts, but in Alabama, we called them educational diagnosticians. And explain to us how, if we're looking at, and we know that our IQ and our language scores are going to give us a number because let's face it, we're all looking for what is that qualification criteria. For
Correct.
most speech language pathologists, we're looking for that 70. Is it 70 or below? We're looking at backup measures. We're looking at expressive, receptive, total language. We're looking at those numbers. Does it meet that criteria? And if we're getting all of the same information, not same information, we're getting the same numbers, what information does that achievement test give the speech language pathologist? Because I had never really even thought to look through that report, because we get these reports from you guys, and no offense, but they're really, really long, right?
Nobody reads them. We know.
Well, I am urging the speech pathologists that are listening to this, read your psychoeducational report. Read it in detail, because those numbers are not just numbers for criteria. They're numbers that give you so much information. So let's talk a little bit about achievement testing and what that gives us in regard to language, like you were talking about that listening comprehension component, that verbal component. What information does that give us that's different from a standardized language test and an IQ test?
Achievement is assessing academics, your
Okay.
acquired skills and knowledge,
Okay.
where your IQ is your innate ability.
Okay. That's just your ability to learn.
That's you. This
Okay.
is who you are.
Okay.
Your achievement is, are you getting everything to the potential you're able to learn?
Right.
Okay. So here we got our potential to learn right here. We know what our IQ is.
Right.
And if we have overall, depending on if you use patterns of strengths or weaknesses or a severe discrepancy model or whatever model you might use in your different parts of the country.
Right.
If there's a really big gap in that area of reading or math, then we definitely have a learning disability in that area.
Right. And all of this kind of finally came together for me because of a personal reason. So, Katie, you were with me when I was having my daughter tested when she was diagnosed with dyslexia. And we went through all of this. And I was able to see that her language was above average. Her IQ was above average. I think you even told me exactly what test to ask for them to give her based on what her, the fact that she was struggling in reading. And then we got that achievement test. And when it was, I guess, and it's sad to say, but when it was personal to me and I had it all there for my child, and we were trying to determine what's the best course of action to help her learn how to be a better reader, then it all made sense because everything was average to above average in all of those areas. Math was through the roof, which is why she's a math teacher. But then that phonics was it absolutely. And I remember showing you that report and you were like, well, there's the problem right there.
Right there.
She doesn't know phonics. So we were able to, with all of that information, we were able to pinpoint and narrow down where she was struggling, which then led us on to further dyslexia testing and her diagnosis.
Correct. And then look where she is today, because yes, but but there is a whole lot more, like you said, to all of these pieces of the puzzle.
Right. And I think that as speech pathologists, we can sometimes get so hyper focused on just that language piece, just that articulation piece. When it's an articulation only, you're the only one in there doing the assessment. So, but you can get so hyper focused on that language piece that you don't take into consideration what information that IQ is giving you, what information that achievement testing is giving you.
It's important when you are looking at the components of an intelligence test and the components of a language test and the components of the achievement test, you will see strengths and weaknesses without really having to dig deeply.